All right, guys, here we're going to talk about 2001's How to Make a Monster. So How to Make a Monster. Had you seen this one before?
I had not, I don't think, but for some reason watching it now, I've gotten like memories somehow of it or something, or things would happen, and I'm like, I think I have seen this. But if I did see it, I forgot all about it, it existing. And I think when I heard the title, I was like, is this the video game one? But that's all I knew, so I don't know what the history is.
It was a TV movie, so it's possible you saw it, on TV in casual passing.
Yeah.
This is one I remember renting, like, when it came out. So I have like those young memories of this movie.
Yeah. I'm not as young as you were when you saw it the first time. You may carry some nostalgia for this film. I got the feeling that you love this movie. Is that what's accurate?
I don't know that it's... Yeah. There's certainly a layer of nostalgia on anything that you saw like as a kid, but mainly it's the movie itself and the people in it from the time. So like this is a movie where like almost every single person, I'm like, I know that person, I know that person, I know that person, like from things that I liked or go on to liking. So it's like, I love that about like B movies, especially B horror movies, is you can have things where like you're like, oh, I know almost this whole cast. Like it is an all-star cast, but just of things from my childhood.
I was saying, just stars to you, not even stars. Yes.
Yeah, like the most famous.
Clea Duvall is the most famous person. I assume
she's gone on to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Well, she was doing she was doing various things. Around this time.
You may know her from But I'm a Cheerleader.
Ghost of Mars.
Ghost of Mars, of course. The Faculty, not to be left out.
I figured that's the one. I was letting you say that one because that's the one. I think that for her, for you.
That's my favorite movie with her for sure.
Yeah.
And get a fucking eye dog.
Maybe if you didn't paint your fucking eyes shut.
This movie, like, more of a comedy, almost, than the others. Not so much on the horror end.
No, I think it's fine. I didn't think it was, like, spectacular or, like, whatever. It's doing some fun or different stuff or something like that. It's kind of difficult for, like, a video game thing.
Oh, yeah. Like, it is a campy thing that the loosest concept is anything revolving making a game, actual computers, how things work.
No. And I'm not gonna...
like, the layer you have to get past to get to, like, robotic killer thing.
Yes, I'm not going to hold it to, like, this isn't how programming is or something like that. But, yeah, it is, like, very dated and, like, of that time period when, like, it's like an episode of Law & Order that's about video games where it's like, oh, God, what are we doing? And you have to, like, find...
Yeah, and certainly dated.
You have to get over that hump to get to something like else or whatever. But, yeah.
No, but this is the fun one. Not too much to say in this pre-spoiler zone here, but if you haven't seen this one, I'd say check it out. And if you don't care, or you have seen it, follow us over to Spoilers, where we're going to in-depth talk and ruin it.
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video, and we eat the competition.
All right, guys, so here we are for the spoilers of How to Make a Monster.
Stefan, how do you make a monster?
Well... it can be taken two ways when you're watching this movie. So there's either the obvious, where they're trying to make a scary monster for this game that they have 4 weeks to develop. They are like the pitch hitters coming in here trying to make this thing really quick. I know that it's completely ridiculous, unrealistic, whatever. Even down to the roles of the people in this.
We're getting a little sidetracked though.
But
how to make a monster.
You're either making a monster for this video game, or it's the turn of a character we have here. Of our main character goes from innocence to kind of a bitch.
I was afraid you would say, Lee, that's not in the movie. You're making that up. You're being pretentious.
No, that's on purpose.
I know it's obviously on purpose. That's what I'm usually saying. Yeah, because like she has all like they spend a lot of this movie with Clea Duvall turning into a monster.
Yeah.
And I almost like part of that. It's like a little gutsy to have that be like the ending or something like that. Because it doesn't end, we're skipping to the end, where like you think, oh, she's going to make her stupid app. She has a horrible idea for an app.
If you believe that the computer can expand our abilities, then why not expand upon our instinct to care, our capacity to give? If we did that, we could make every day like Christmas. And that's the idea behind SecretSanta.com.
Yeah, she was a very giving person and wanted to make a Secret Santa style
She was like
thing.
naive. She wanted to make a good thing. And she comes in like Trinity from the Matrix. She's done her hair. She's all wearing like a black suit.
She's more like herself in The Faculty toward the end.
I don't approve of the mess left behind, but I can't argue with the results. Good job, Laura.
And
she's like, no, this is how it's going to go. And she like explains it to the evil woman who was in the thing before.
it's like you said. You never know what the competition might do.
And part of me was like, well, this is a movie though. It's gonna cut to her being like, oh, thank God I can take off these horrible clothes. I get to make my app, and it cuts to the future, and everything's good now, and she's happy and all that stuff. But it doesn't do that. Instead, it cuts to the future, and she's running the exact same place that she should have learned was a bad thing to do by the whole point of the movie, right?
Except now she's like the CEO.
She's like replaced the evil lady who was doing the, she was like stirring the pot. She was like $1 million, the contest, you guys, whatever, right? Yeah. So I don't know what I'm supposed to think. There's no ending even of like a twist where she just tells the next intern, like what
cuts to the chase, honestly.
But she just tells the next intern what the bad guy told her when she was an intern.
Look, Miss Wheeler, I am trying to be nice here.
Don't.
What?
Don't be nice.
Without having to fight for her life. She
know.
got off light.
We're totally.
Did you recognize
short-circuiting
that
the thing.
intern?
She looked super familiar.
She for me is the eldest daughter in the Honey I Shrunk the Kids TV show.
Which I've never seen.
I really like that show.
Okay, plug for Honey I Shrunk. She's been in other things, I'm sure, too, right? Because yes, I was like, you look familiar, and she was playing the role of the flashcards, and I'm like doing a report or something like that. I'm this intern.
Okay. What's the most important asset for a woman to have in her line of work?
Next.
Yeah, I kind of hated that, and I'm not sure why. I kind of hated, like, her looking in the reflection in VR and seeing that, like, oh, I am a character model in the game I helped make.
Now, maybe you're too naive to believe that, or too stupid to learn it. But if you believe in the good and mercy of others, you will always lose.
Well, like I
it's
didn't think that was like that's a like telling
so
moment for the
overt or
movie
whatever,
where they want to show you like, oh, you actually look just like the bad guy.
Yeah.
But earlier in the movie, they are all playing multiplayer, and when Sabretooth comes at her, he is that character as well.
Yes.
No way you win. No way.
Come on, Laura. Come on, Laura.
Kick his ass!
This
So
was not a surprise.
It's not wasn't a surprise to me.
No, but this is just like, and she like puts the hands on the face like, oh no, it's me. I've become the monster. But her takeaway is, yes, I will be the monster. And that just translates to her like barking orders and yelling at like an intern.
Yeah.
It feels not like, it doesn't feel like a thing. You know what I mean?
I'll say yes. It had a TV movie ending, like
Okay.
where there's not that satisfying payoff.
And it was a TV movie.
It was,
right?
yeah.
No, I feel like they were trying to make something even more satisfying. Like, oh, you think she's gonna go be like a happy, good person and like learn a lesson from this? No. Well, she's gonna learn the absolute opposite of like the lesson that she should learn. And that's valid. You can do that, I guess. But it just made me feel like, I don't know.
Only the bitch survive. It's like,
I feel like would have been a better way to do that, though. I'm not sure exactly, but it's something about it. I was just like, oh, come on. That was
I
my
liked her
response to
using the 1, 2, 3 at that old CEO lady and like getting what she wanted. But yeah, I do think it could have lent itself a little bit to her using that to get what she wanted.
Or like transcending it, right? Being the bitch, but then when she's behind closed doors is different to the intern. Or like some weird, like she found like a path in between of like, it's more complicated than that. And I've learned by going through this crazy experience that
you knew it wasn't going to be more complicated than anything, though. When they were in the same set again, you're like, oh, the building that exploded? That's what now is your corporate headquarters?
Miss Wheeler, the new intern's here.
Oh, there was just, blood and bodies, but the kids are playing the game in there. What?
And they show like them changing the sign to be like her name and stuff. Yeah.
And I'm like, that's poetic in a better movie.
Okay, so like that encapsulates everything I'm feeling. That's poetic in a better movie or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess, right? Something
Sure.
like that.
But this movie was never meant to be more than what it is. And what it is, I really dig. I like that kind of movie where this is a very I won't say guilty pleasure because I'm not guilty at all. It's a simple pleasure.
You're a sociopath.
Where
so.
it is like it's your lower budget movie.
Yeah.
It's just like the familiar faces. It's the I don't care how things actually work, and like in movies, I'm the kind of guy that gets really pissed off about things that like don't make sense happening.
know.
But in this, it's such a lighthearted, stupid approach where like oh the computer has a crazy engine where it has like Hitler and Nazis and whatever things are inside, all the bad in the world.
Ooh.
What is that?
I ran a net search on the word monster, and there's a lot of heinous shit out there. And all of it's going on my $1 million AI engine.
Which somehow enables the wires to stretch out and grab things and do
it's
stuff
insane.
like.
Yeah.
It is the simplest of plots just to get across the thing you want to do.
Let me just
and
be
that's
clear
what's fun.
that I understand what you're saying. Let me just clear up with you. Are you saying that you're good on the other monster part? That's the part you're cool with?
Yes.
Or, okay.
Yeah.
I can get behind that.
I like the character. I like any movie that starts off with like, oh, this is the blah blah. Like we're like giving the rundown. They show the characters like that stupid shit. I'm a sucker for that crap.
Oh no.
I love that.
Like the movie Hackers doesn't show real hacking, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm never the one who's like, spaceships don't work like that, movie 0 out of 10 or something, right? So like, I don't care that it's not real programming or that like, okay, like programmer, lead developer, makes sense.
See, a game is only as good as its programming, which is a direct reflection of its programmer. See, it's a whole Zenflow mirror to the soul kind of thing. And if you input all of this into my Obhedar, it's...
You'll get one psycho monster.
Sound guy, also makes sense. A lot of sound work to do.
Yes.
Bug, what are you doing?
I'm finishing up the monster's voice.
In the bathroom?
The acoustics are better in here.
Ready to die?
Third guy is in charge of like weapons.
Which is why the bonus is all mine.
So like what it should have been
like,
is he is the art guy,
yes,
and he brings weapons and stuff to scan, but he is the weapon guy.
There
is no art guy.
They call him weapons or something.
Yeah.
Right, and there is no art guy.
His name is Hardcore. Legally change it. I was gonna be Diablo, but that was taken.
Yeah, Hardcore's my real name. I had it legally changed a year ago. I wanted Diablo, but it was already taken. I plan to reapply for it when the other Diablo passes on.
There can be more than one person with a name.
Nope.
That's what got me. I was like, good.
Do those things bother you?
Those
though,
things, I'm like, that is
but
bad,
the
right? I'm
wires
like, do you
are
not
fine?
understand how like life works? Because those are simple, stupid things.
I
Do
took
I
a-
know how
I
a possessed monster could react and do things? Okay, that's up to interpretation. But I know how our legal system works.
I just take it like we live in this alternate world where names are one per person, or that he simply wouldn't share a name with anyone, and that no one is named Hardcore. He's so hardcore, by the way, that he just cuts his finger at one point.
Yeah.
If you want to make it in this world, you got to be PFD. Programmed for damage.
It's just
What's
like like a tiny lick.
So the character we're talking about, Hardcore, is played by Sabretooth. Tyler Mane?
Tyler Mane.
Mane, okay. Who I looked up, and he's also in Troy, I think. And I like that.
Yeah, he's Troy. He's Ajax.
He's Ajax in
He's
Troy.
the large guy, like pulls an arrow, like he like pushes slaves out of
He's
the
a
way so he
monster.
could like
Yeah,
boat it in quicker.
Exactly. He's
Yeah.
awesome. I'm like, that guy's awesome.
Look at him. Look. Roll, you lazy horse, roll! Greeks are dying! Roll!
You're awesome. I only knew him as Sabretooth.
He's also Mike Myers.
He has like 2 lines. Yeah, but he has 0 lines as Mike Myers, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But just to
So-
show you, like, he is a very large. There's a
Yes.
reveal shot where they show a short guy and then like a taller guy, and you're like,
Yes.
oh, and then he walks in and he's like head and shoulders above those
No,
guys.
he's a... He like jumps over a table at one point. I'm like, oh my god! Thank God they're on a soundstage because he would have hit something.
Not again.
He has like 2 lines as Sabretooth. He's like, you owe me a scream, right? He doesn't say.
Yeah.
He barely says anything.
You owe me a scream.
Here, though, I think this is the only role I've ever seen him in where he has a chance to like ham it up.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I like him.
You're really, I really liked him. I thought he was really good. I don't know if he was in enough stuff to justify or.
He's
but
not
like,
as good now, in my opinion. Okay. I liked him with the long hair. He cut all the hair off.
Okay. But he's.
I thought that's like his thing to me. Like he looks like that dude.
He was a wrestler at some point, right? That's where he started or something.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think I ever saw him as a wrestler. I would certainly believe it.
I thought I saw like a brief wrestling thing.
This is one big, frightening individual.
But yeah, not quite exactly like the other wrestler actors, but I thought he really brought a lot of the big, and like, this is the only role I've seen him like this, and I really enjoyed him in this.
I think he's the best in Troy, just because that's a real fucking movie, filmed great and used like knows how to get.
He's doing
a
thing
actor.
there, yes.
But this is a close second.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed what he brought to this movie.
Yeah,
I was surprised. I'm like, oh, Sabretooth. I bet he'll be huge, and that was my only thing. And then he's huge.
Well, this movie, like I said earlier, there's so many characters that I like.
Yeah.
What's his name? Jason Marsden. He plays Bug.
But I had to get out of that company on account of, I'm not really, I don't really know why, but most people say that I'm annoying, but when it comes to crunch time, they're always calling me. It's like, Bug, can you do this? Bug, can you do that? But they never call Bug when it's time for, like, say, the company picnic. No, they never extend invitation for old Gordon, which is my real name, but you can call me Bug. Everyone calls me Bug, although I really don't know why.
And he was in, like, every sitcom growing up. He was like the friend. He was in Step by Step.
Well, I got a better idea. Why don't I find a tutor who isn't president of the Lorena Bobbitt fan club?
And he was in Full House.
Kimmy's getting married.
To what?
He was in Boy Meets World.
Do you play basketball?
Yeah.
Aren't you a little petite?
Okay, that's it. You and me, north against south, rematch. Come on, not that accent. You're nothing. You're Georgia Peach. Come on.
Okay,
he's in all this stuff. He was in Erie, Indiana. He played the kid with the gray hair and the plus and the minus tattoo.
Until then, I'm gonna use these for a name. Plus and minus? No. Dash X. Get it? Dash X. Plus. What kind of name is that?
Oh my God!
Yeah,
I have no idea who these people are. No. I actually loved Erie, Indiana, and I remember that character. But if you're like, who played him? I'm like, Pete. I don't know him. I don't know who that is at all. Some kid, right? But yes. So you were so like even Bug, you were like, this is my dude.
Oh yeah. The only one who I'm not, I'm like Stephen Culp. Like I remember him. Like my mother watched the Desperate Housewives, and he was on that show. I'd see him occasionally.
This is Drummond, the boss of the Clutch crew. Yeah.
$7.4 billion. That's what the video game industry netted in profits last year alone. These games are like crack to kids, only legal. You know that.
But like everybody else, like Clea Duvall, obviously, like we said, she's awesome. Yes. Faculty is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Crash and burn, Casey.
What about the guy that played Soul? Is he somebody?
Saul.
Oh.
He's
it's SOL in the thing. I don't know.
Kareem Prince is his name. He was one of the main characters on Freaky Links, one of my favorite shows that only lasted one season.
Okay.
Are you sure you can handle this? Come on, D, have I ever let you down? This week.
It was him and Ethan Embry, and they were like, like a low-budget X-Files for their website.
This guy loves television.
I'm a television guy from a certain time.
Only for a certain range of years. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm jealous. I was like, I don't know any of these people. I know Sabretooth.
And then Julie Strand plays herself.
Julie, Miss Strain, from your work in Heavy Metal 2000 to El Chupacabra, the way that you handle a sword, it's a perfect blend of brawn and beauty that we need for our game heroine.
And you've probably seen her in things.
I Googled her and I'm like, oh yeah, but I don't care at all about her.
She's in like a million things as like, Scream Queen, heroine, whatever.
Yeah. She's like,
what is the
she's like the heavy metal chick from Heavy Metal or something. Yes.
Battle Queen 2020 is the one that like I'm like, oh, she starred in that one, and I haven't seen too many things that she's starred in.
Yes.
And I had seen Heavy Metal and Heavy Metal 2000. Didn't realize that it was like modeled after her.
It's a person.
She is the voice.
Right.
Would have just thought that's generic, like bombshell.
Random, whatever. Yeah.
But yeah, as I think back, I'm like, oh yeah, that's her.
Yeah, she's an Amazon warrior. Or whatever.
Her claim to fame for me was she was married to Kevin Eastman, of Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
And I was like, anyone that's with Kevin Eastman can't be that bad.
Oh, she got the Kevin Eastman seal of approval, I suppose.
Exactly.
So she is the, I don't want to say dominatrix. I think she's supposed to be.
She plays dominatrix a lot in things, though,
that's
so
why
that
I'm
is
saying,
accurate.
Like, well, I got like a whiff of dominatrix. I think here she's just supposed to be like an actress, but they call her in to do the motion capture for the like character in the video game that has the sword and does the stuff or whatever. Yes.
These games require a lot of acting, but in our line of business, we call it a motion capture.
Yeah, but she's gigantic. They all fawn over her. She gets her tits out. She gets into the mocap gear, and this is where we begin to make our monster.
Yes, I don't know if early mocap gear was like bits of armor and like the things that held Forrest Gump's legs, but I don't know enough about it. Now it's just dots and green suits and whatnot.
They also would not have motors in them so that it could work in like reverse or something like that.
That was a little strange.
Hey man, we're having fun.
But again, it's to if it were a serious movie, I'd have problems, but it's so not. Real quick before I forget, her boyfriend, like the abusive ex-boyfriend.
Laura, you better fucking hide in there, you fucking bitch! You fucking whore! You fucking slut! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fucking stay in there and die, bitch!
That's Danny Masterson from That 70s Show.
I'll say that's Hyde,
or
right?
now The Ranch, or accused rapist in Scientology, as you may know him.
Hey, he has many credits.
I really like him, and I do hope that he's not a rapist, because I think he's a really funny guy.
All right, put it here if he's a rapist. No, we're talking about Hyde, right?
Yes,
Hyde. Yeah. No, I thought it was him, and I'm like, Hyde wouldn't be in something for 30 seconds to walk up to a door.
He was also, for 30 seconds, in The Faculty with Clea Duvall, so I'm like, I wonder if that's a thing.
But that's not me. Doesn't even look like me.
Interesting.
And he was also in Dracula 3000 for a little bit, so he tried to be like a movie actor.
There's probably cash upstairs!
It didn't seem like it really panned out for him. It seemed like TV was where it's at. And he had a very successful career in 2 long-running TV shows, so I guess that's fine.
Sure.
Fun fact, his brother is the older brother from Malcolm in the Middle.
No way, I gotta be near Alaska. I just exchanged all my money for Alaskan dollars. There's no such thing as Alaskan dollars. Sir?
Then, they're making the monster, lightning strikes, right?
Yes.
In the middle of all this.
A combination of
the
hardcore screwing with the server or something and lightning striking.
Yeah.
That combination with this $1 million AI chip that has been developed culminates to make this monster come to life.
Yeah.
Come on, what's going on here? It's okay, I got it.
What now?
No problems. It's all
Not unlike the Ginger Dead Man.
Oh, like a series of unfortunate events. No, and this is where we kind of get into where it's touching on the 2 ways to make a monster, because this is what Clea Duvall should be witnessing. They are competitive, they are working against each other, they're driven by this bonus to the point that they're screwing each other over.
Which is so insane. Not that people wouldn't do things like that, but they only have 4 weeks, and they're actively deleting,
sabotaging
cutting
each
wires,
other's
doing
things.
shit.
Yes.
If the project doesn't get done, nobody wins. It's very strange.
And that's why I thought we were going somewhere cool, because she says why don't they just share the bonus?
Why don't they just share the bonus?
You'll learn, intern. You'll learn.
And he's like, you idiot! You'll
Yeah,
learn.
like 300 grand wouldn't be a huge thing.
It's
and I wonder how much do they get paid? They're 4 they're 4 counting the boss.
Yeah.
And the intern, I'm sure, just gets an hourly wage.
Yes.
So 4 people that are developing an entire video game seemingly from scratch
in a few weeks.
In a few weeks.
Well, they have the shitty game to build off of, but yes,
it seems like they use
insane.
almost nothing from that game.
No, and that would need again, if we're going to be realistic, that would need years of art or something.
Yeah.
Not the way it looks in there, but even for that time, maybe actually.
That game, I understand, did come out. Evolution. It had some other sub name that sounded like Norwegian or something.
Damn.
Available through some website, like I guess you play on the website.
Okay.
A game, by the way, that inspired a real game coming out in October 2001 on ScreenBlast.com.
That website didn't seem to be available when I
working
looked for
anymore?
it. But I also did a search. I did search for it on my phone, so maybe it's just not a phone-compatible website.
Interesting. That would be amazing if someone tried to is this the official release, or did someone recreate it and make
there
it into
was
a web browser game?
2.5 minute behind-the-scenes featurette, which was pretty much a commercial, because it showed one scene, it showed the fish tank break, and then it was pretty much a commercial saying you gotta see what the monster looks like in the movie, VHS or DVD. Blah, blah. I'm like, what the hell kind of behind the scenes is this? This is horrible. But yeah.
And they were hyping up, you can play this game.
Yeah, like,
Go to this URL.
This game, like the blah blah graphics put into this thing, which is actually going to be coming out in early 2001 or something.
AOL keyword evolution.
Yeah,
and it's like what?
I was like, okay. Like I was like, oh, if they skinned a thing and made a thing, blah blah.
I was gonna say, like,
you're halfway there.
so
you could make some bullshit game. Like I remember when Eight-Legged Freaks came out, there was an online game that was terrible.
But I mean like. So they had to create some assets to to make the fake game that we see in the movie.
Now the forces of evil have a powerful new overlord. He has overrun our defenses.
Logically, if you were a miserable capitalist, you'd be like, make it into a game though. And you're like, the movie's about how this is bad. It's like, you have 3 weeks. And he's like, what the fuck is happening?
Well, the kids at the end have fun. They liked it.
That must have been like a Twilight Zone thing for whoever was told to make the real game. Though, if they knew what the movie was, they'd be like, what the fuck?
But even if the game in reality, in their world, was this evil thing with this like, oh, the artificial intelligence, it runs amok, blah blah. Unless you had a motion capture suit that has servos in it, it wouldn't even matter. It couldn't actually do anything.
Oh no.
I do love the idea of like fighting this clever thing, like, oh, it crawled into a puddle and then like pulls him under the desk and stuff, and I'm like, all right.
Where you at, bitch? Impressive. Most.
Things are kind of tracking with whatever else was happening or whatever.
But to that same point, there's a lot of dumb shit with like, all right, put on this, and he hands her like the virtual reality goggles and gloves and stuff.
Try it with these.
Let's for a second assume that would make her a better player. I'm assuming. She then puts it on later on to fight it in reality. And I was like, well, what's that going to do? What if there's lag or anything? Or there's no power cords, there's no wires. It looks like a fiberglass helmet.
We have to believe that the VR magically works or whatever, right?
Yes.
But they, like, earlier on they establish, oh, she's pretty good at this game. And that's setting up that later she will use the game to beat the thing. Because they're like, oh, it's confused and it's in the game, but it's walking around and there's been this glitch.
And it's set up that they didn't have time to design a proper layout of the game, so it uses the office's layout. So that makes sense as to why it can even walk around.
Okay, so that I hated almost more than anything else. That's so dumb. That's so crazy dumb to me.
Well, I thought but for me, I'm a guy that's like, for words, you could save all stupid shit. And those are those few words that make me go like, okay, because it would just be walking into a wall.
But it's such a crazy thing for him to have like translucent. I have the blueprints, and I. It's so. I'm like,
no, it's crazy.
I'm like, this scene is awful to me. This is like.
But
very
that
bad.
was someone trying to solve a problem.
See, we didn't have time to build the game levels from scratch.
So you use the building layout.
Okay, if we just follow the air ducts.
What's that over there, right? A fire engine. Where do you go point?
That's it. That's how we get out of here.
I have to applaud the actual thought of like, how would this work? It doesn't have eyes. It's in the game. Like,
but the problem they created their own problem though. So just don't have that problem in the first place. It's like they set up that fighting it in the game would be good and actually physically stop it, not in the game, right?
Yes.
But then she just fights it in real life instead or something like that. So like there's no character in the game that it's fighting that's doing whatever she's doing when she doesn't have the VR on.
No.
But she fights it with a sword at one point. Like it doesn't make any sense. So
she saves the boss at one point by using the controller to hit it in the game, and I was like, that was cool.
That was awesome. And I felt like that was a really cool thing because you obviously couldn't have Clea Duvall fighting this monster with a sword after it killed Tyler Bane easily or something like that.
Well, and the biggest issue is like in a game you have a health bar.
Yeah.
So like if you get struck with the sword once, your health goes down a little bit. But if she gets struck once, she's dead.
Or you like damage a limb and you can't keep fighting properly, right? Yeah. No, there's a bunch of reasons why things like don't work or whatever and all that stuff. Yes.
Yeah, I do love that it's Sabretooth's body, but it's not his head. And like you think like you only really see that that happen effectively for a moment before it becomes like a mask and they add things to it.
Yeah.
Because you're like, how's that going to play out? How are you planning
What's
on doing
happening?
that?
Yes.
And I thought it was done very nicely.
No, listen, I really loved it, like weirdly putting in like fake eyes.
So?
It was like in Superman when she's covered in circuits and it makes into a thing, and then like it's like the gloves are like over his arms, and right, it's like Tyler Dane's body. And then it's like, what else do we have lying around? Oh, I got a cool like weird jaw thing and like a shredder helmet or something like that, and it like builds itself up.
The
to
box
be
totally
like,
grabbed me as a kid, where I was like, oh, I gotta see that. What's that?
It becomes the thing.
Even
from
now,
the
I'm like, that's kitschy and fun. I enjoy that.
Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah. All that stuff's fine. Yeah, no problem with that.
Yeah, like and even to some of the effects levels, like while some are clearly cheesy and bad, some of the deaths are not as entertaining as others.
That stuff's fine.
I like the smashing of the fish tank to like fry it, but not being what finishes it, her actually having to stab it to death.
Yeah.
Because I hate when things are just so clean and simple.
Yeah.
Because if the explosion didn't kill it, and it barely even maimed Bug's body, you almost expect Bug to still be alive based on like how he's there, and not really that burned.
Yeah, no, Bug wasn't that burned, and then like I thought it was
just budgetary.
They didn't set stuff up about like water would even hurt it or something, right?
No, that's just I think your audience watches and goes, water, electricity, obviously bad.
I thought it was dumb that she kills it with a fish tank. Like she should have been like more up, on the ropes and then realized it, right? Like that should have been her character's thing, where she's like smart and all that stuff. But it throws her through the wall into that room. And then she's like, ah-ha-ha.
I forgot about that room.
Yeah.
Like even though you see the fish tank the whole time, I did think that's a cool reveal that like they watch through the fish tank at people. That's pretty cool. That's better than a one-way glass.
It was not Please put that down.
And I didn't know that if like we were supposed to see them through there, or like if the kids could see. I assume
with the lights off and the
just
light
for
on in the tank, I imagine it would be pretty dark.
Yeah, but like in the intro, you see them through there. I think just for the audience purposes.
I believe so. Yeah.
Right. So like
But honestly,
that's cool.
I don't know if that would even necessarily matter because they're not acting like we're not taking notes on you.
Kids are idiots. It's fine too.
Yeah.
None of that's a problem. Yeah.
The monster looked like a Sesame Street reject.
So is there anything you got to script doctor on this one?
Just the overall stuff, like I was saying. Like I agree with you that the fun part is fun, but I feel like a lot of the other part kind of like takes away from it and all that stuff. Like we have a lot of conversations between Laura the intern and like the boss man or whatever. It builds up to this like revelation when she's like, "You stole the disc."
How could you?
And he also like leaves her for dead almost, right? He puts the visor on her and then pieces out.
I think he thought he could escape.
I know. It's very like, okay.
Peter? Peter?
And like that's the big like thing that like turns her or something. When I'm like, that guy's been shitty to you from the start. He's been telling you be shittier, and
but
then
he's been kind of a good shitty until then.
Well, he's been like mentoring her, and he's been like, be shitty.
He stole her pork.
Hey.
You gotta toughen up, Laura. Life doesn't give you enough time to be nice, only efficient. If you keep putting your trust in things like good and mercy, you're gonna lose.
A little bit of the whole Chinese restaurant scene or whatever. Like we get a lot of time to
I was
build
impressed
up
by just
to
another
this
location
thing,
there, honestly.
right? Just, hey, we have another location.
Oh my God, you hate it.
No, it's
I can't give them like gold stars on like the kindergarten board though. I have to be like, or whatever. No, like there's like a lot of the movies dedicated to that and therefore like less fun to me. Where I'm like, because I'm expecting something to happen at the end and something does, I guess. I just didn't like all those elements or whatever,
I agree. Yeah. My like twist, how I would like, if I had to punch up the script, I would take away that whole part with him being like a traitor.
Right.
I would have it that while she was on there, he ran off to destroy the server. Like saying like fuck the game, it's worth more than this. Like make him a decent guy.
Right.
Have him kill the server, but then the thing kills him anyway. And you're like, how did that happen? It has the disc in its like a hard drive or something, and it's able to run without the fucking thing.
And that's its like
and,
heart.
And that would be the explanation as to where the disc went and how that all went out.
The backup disc is missing.
Who do you think did this? Microsync, copy-ROM?
Doesn't matter. Pick one. Fuck.
Like that. Yeah, it just felt like a weird, because like again, that should really drive home to her. I started saying this before, right? Like all like the dudes like compete, and even he is a super shitty guy. When they find out that Saul's dead, they like hide it.
Hold on, Bug. Let's just think about this.
Think about what?
You call the police. They're gonna lock this place up. And whoever stole that backup disc can beat us to market with a copycat game.
Which then like lets the monster grow even more.
Yeah.
And then they're in a room where they could just like maybe end it all, but they're arguing about like we're gonna lose the data or something. I'm like, there's a killer monster on the loose, right?
That's not unlike most movies.
Yes.
Human greed seemingly knows no bounds, and what the things you and I would do in a situation are always different than the morons in the
I'm
world.
not holding them to some crazy standard, but when you have a framework about a character learning about like you shouldn't be nice, you should be shitty, to have her live through like all this bad stuff only happened because of how shitty people are. And then her takeaway is like, I'm going to be shitty, right? I was like, I don't like this. I feel like something I feel like we could do something better with this.
I agree. Right? I think it would have been good to have...
It was kind of like an aw, snap like moment though, right? So I feel like they just wanted that to happen, you know?
Definitely. But it could have, like you said, been to twist to her good-natured afterward. Like, got what I did this.
Oh, I have to put up a front. Oh, no, because the world is bad, so I have to be bad for the world. Yeah. Kid, trust me, get out of this business, go follow your dreams, do whatever you want or whatever. Some sort of thing.
If they would have done the disc in the hard drive thing, I would have loved play out the fish tank the same way. It smashes down, and then like she stabs it, and then like goes to walk away. It grabs her ankle. It's like pulling her towards her, and she's like ah, and like pushes the button, and the disc pops out, and just
and it's just dead. Okay.
Yeah. And then she uses that to get her $1 million, obviously. Like, you know, it's still a bargaining chip.
And that's the disc.
And maybe even like to silence her, like, because the security footage and stuff would still be on like that Palm Pilot, how they showed it.
No shit!
So maybe like you're like, oh, this is what you get when you cut corners, you force blah blah. This AI chip that's fucking got all the this bad shit in it, blah blah blah. I think you're gonna fund my blah blah blah. And then it shows her wearing a Santa's hat and a thing and giving to the orphans or some shit.
And like that's cliche too, but like yes.
But it would be a cliche that fits the bubblegum tone of the movie.
Yeah, it's like a less serious thing, right?
Yeah.
And this, I don't know. Everything that I'm saying, I'm like, well, I see how you could apply that to this ending too, but I just didn't like this ending as much or something like that.
Yeah, no, agreed.
Like, and I wanted them to play it more where like she's fighting it in the game and like someone else is fighting it not in the game, and it's like funny or weird or it's a whole thing or whatever, right? I feel like it could have delved more into that because it seems like after the first part, they were just like, yeah, fuck that, I don't know, we're gonna do this or whatever.
Could have benefited from more people being in the movie too.
Okay.
Maybe you don't have the dude reprogramming overnight.
Saul, you make those fixes to the game tonight.
Got them right here.
You know, Benoit Ball, Saul didn't die then. Yeah. Maybe it's running overnight. The cleaning crew comes in. They get killed. It's wearing like, you know, the cleaning crew
It's got a vacuum now.
Because those three dudes, they did have a good rapport together. Yes. I thought they worked really nicely, and they had a nice blend of things. Like when they come in and first solve the locked computers.
Let's work.
Which, by the way, did the old team, when that guy got fired, what did he look like? It was like, oh, is that Elon Musk or like it was? I can't remember who I thought it was. I thought of some rich guy or like, is that Yang?
You guys are so canned.
What?
You should shout that out because when they throw out the old guys and they go, "Who's gonna finish the game?"
But who's gonna finish the game?
Like, I was like, that's like the DP and the cinematographer, the director. Like those have to be people, just random ass people.
I did see the director. He kind of looked like that guy.
I feel like
that was him.
I feel like that's a primo cameo role.
Oh, definitely.
Like you have a backpack and you're standing behind the guy who says, "Who's gonna finish the game?" Like, and they like slam the door in their face and say,
because even Danny Masterson's not credited in this movie. He's an uncredited person, and I'm like, at this point, I feel like he would have already been
not
famous.
Credited?
No, the boyfriend.
Oh, okay. Oh, geez. Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say.
And he has lines. He talks.
You know, I don't need this shit, Laura.
I was gonna say too, we could have let the boyfriend in to kill him. We could have had more.
Yeah,
other
no,
people
lots
or
of things would have
whatever.
happened.
Because you're saying like having the people there for longer would have made more sense.
Yeah.
It would have been more interesting and stuff. Because it is like
it's very contained.
It's essentially I'm making a hand motion. Like it's essentially like a single location, small cast movie.
Yeah,
It just
I
has
even
all these
lose track of
outlandish
where they
elements.
are in relation to the building. When the explosion happens, it feels like they drop down floor.
Get back! Get back! Oh my god! Oh my god!
But at one point later, they seem to drop down the floor again into what's almost the same set.
Yes,
and I don't know, maybe they went back up at some point. I liked how the one programmer in like the server room, his office looks like he's from like the Matrix, but the head guy's office looks like it's like a used car salesman's lot.
High school guidance counselor like office. No, it's perfect. No, a lot of that stuff works really, really well. And like hardcore even, because like he's supposed to be like I'm caveman weapons guy, but he pops up like a keyboard, like
a tiny like fold-outable keyboard.
All these crazy things, like it's
and they do like a toss, like you can tell like their crew, like he throws a hard drive, the guy like catches it.
Really like slick, and that really worked because they're so goofy and weird and dumb, and they're like, I'm the sound guy or whatever, right? But like,
and how they're all bumbling over when they're trying to mocap, and you're like oh, boobs.
Yeah, when there's like a hot chick there.
Yeah.
There's a great scene. It's like a cartoon because Bug's trying to talk to her, and then the other two run in, and like one like hits the other.
A group of remote electronic impulse sensors linked with a computer digital model records your every muscle movement.
So, where's the crew?
like a Flintstone thing.
Yeah, it's playing those like weird bongo when they like come in. Yeah, it's like very slapsticky. I feel like you could have extended that part and dropped the elements that we're saying are not even worth it. Put that in at the end as like a weird stinger where like she came out on top and there's a whole thing, but you don't need all this prep of like you'll learn intern and all these weird.
I would have liked to see the Sabretooth fight because I'm like that's a gigantic dude who's like loves weapons.
Come and get some. Let's get it on!
Yeah,
and yes, he's a closet nerd, so maybe he's not good with them, but he's also a giant. Like, just genetically, he is a huge man.
No, but that's, you've like hit upon an awesome like plot twist where they're like, there's a monster, go kill it. And he's like, I'm a programmer, I don't really do this shit, I just think it's cool. Look, my finger still hurts. Like, he could just be that guy or whatever. And he could have pulled that off. He was really funny, so damn. All right, there's a much better movie out there somewhere.
I think what this is very fun, very enjoyable, very worth watching. Definitely give it a thumbs up, say recommend. But I do think that the skeleton that is this movie could have been made into a better movie. Had this been a theatrical movie or even a direct-to-DVD movie, it might have had a little bit more chance than when you go into the movies, into the TV show rather. TV show, onto the TV movies.
Onto a like TV release. I think you said before it's like a good bad movie though, right? It's definitely.
Certainly.
So like if you know what you're getting into, like you could do a lot worse, and this is fun and weird in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I've been critical of the parts that are critical, but like it's like worth seeing. You shouldn't like ignore like this. It's so weird. You have to see this movie.
Oh yeah,
right,
I remember watching this many times. So this is it still holds up.
Yeah.
You know, 2001. We're 19 years later, and it is as enjoyable as the first time.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever.
Fuck these motherfuckers.
I love dumps.
Cannibal Video has everything you need. A wide array of VHS and DVDs. We ate the competition.